All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a ton of new details to talk about regarding Hogwarts Legacy. We've got a massive data dump that we're going to go over. We're also going to go over when the next reveal is going to be for Hogwarts Legacy, because we still don't know when the release date is going to be, which might happen in an upcoming showcase that could be taking place this month. And lastly, we have to discuss some of the details and questions that we still have for the game that have yet to be answered that I would personally love to get answered before the game comes out, and so much more. So be sure to stick around until the end, because you guys don't want to miss out. Real quick, guys, we are nearing 60,000 subscribers. Do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already. I'm going to be doing a giveaway once we hit that 60k number. It might have something to do with Hogwarts Legacy and a PS5, but I will talk about that in a future video. So wands at the ready, and let's jump into everything new in the magical world of Hogwarts Legacy. Starting off, let's discuss the biggest portion of this video, all of the new details. Now, this information is basically confirmed, but might be from an older version of the game, so just take that into consideration. Some of the details might not make it into the final game. According to the recent Autodesk Vision series featuring Hogwarts Legacy, they revealed a ton of new details about the game. First and foremost, we got a brand new cinematic for the game. So as you guys can see, it showcases two students watching dark wizards attempt to restrain a hippogriff. One of the companion students actually goes inside to collect the evidence, which makes the player character have to somehow scale up the building to help free Highwing the hippogriff from its captors, the dark wizards. I'm not sure what kind of evidence they're trying to collect, but either way, it definitely sounds intriguing. The cutscene looks a little bit rough and the voice acting is kind of weird, but that's likely due to it being an early version of the game. I'm sure once we get the game in our hands, that cutscene is probably going to look completely different. Now I'm going to talk about some rapid fire information from the Autodesk video. At about 13 minutes in the video, we see a list of models that could be in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and name off everything that we have on this list. First off, we've got the house elf that we actually have seen in the trailers, particularly in the state of play where we saw numerous house elves, as well as a main character house elf, I'm guessing it was actually inside of the room of requirement with you. So maybe that could be one of the companions that you could choose from. Next up on this list, we have a howler that if you guys have ever read the books or actually watched the movies, it's the letter that starts screaming at Ron for stealing the car in the second book. So needless to say, I am very curious to see how they're going to implement these howlers. And then we've got the Inferius that's going to be showcased in the game. And Inferius is basically just a dead body that's reanimated by a dark wizard. Next up, there's a model called the marketing only character, and then we've got the named customizable enemy, other character pacifist, a player fight club ally, a portrait character, a prefect, which are probably going to be annoying in this game. We've got the professor model, and then Professor Battle of Hogwarts A, B, and C. Next up, we have a detail from a Reddit thread from user Kralik Gamer that pointed out this, and that is a model of a wand in the animation part of the video with suffix 01, meaning there will indeed be more than one wand in the game, which is kind of a given, I would assume. Next up, we've got another detail pointed out from the same Reddit thread, an animation called holding and petting Puffskin. This is just a small, not very interesting information that Puffskins, or rather Puffskeins, I'm not really sure the pronunciation, but maybe that is going to be a magical beast that we're able to tame in the game. There's another animation called bucket feed, which means we will probably be able to feed our magical beast in our vivarium. Also, as pointed out from Cleric, there is another big detail that they said, and I quote, "This one is really interesting to me, an animation called clean bludger and clean broom." I don't have any expectations for Quidditch, but this little piece of info made me a bit more excited. Other animations are as followed: cleaning potion bottles, putting labels on it, and then actually blowing up the bottles. The next thing they pointed out, they said, is a heartwarming one, and that is a Weasley character that's going to be in Hogwarts Legacy. And this character is likely going to be the headmistress from the State of Play video. And the final detail, as pointed out from the Kralik Gamer Reddit thread, they found another small animation file called DADA Duel 2 _ Professor Hecat, or Professor Hakat, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. So that could potentially mean that we're going to be able to learn defense against the dark arts while dueling with the professor, and the professor for DADA might be Hecat or Hakat. There's another detail from the video that has another file called Professor Sharp, so I guess we'll have to find out more about that detail in the future. So moving right along, we've got a new concept art for Hogwarts Castle that I gotta talk about, and this is from BNS Victory from Reddit. So if you actually take a look at the concept art at the bottom middle, you're gonna see a small little cave entrance to Hogwarts Castle. Now, it's got a lot of people on Reddit trying to figure out what this actually is. BNSK states that to me looks like an entrance to a cave or possible hidden entrance to get to the dungeons, or maybe even to get to the Slytherin common common room, which we know will be below the water line. The weird part is the only way we can get to that place is by swimming. Another user stated that they mentioned that there are catacombs under Hogwarts, so it could be the dungeon-like area that we've actually seen from the trailers. Another user pointed out, which is likely the case, but they said if you also look, the cave is connected to the lake. I think that could possibly be the little cove that the first years go in the boats before sorting. So who knows whether it's going to be a dock or if it's just a cave that you can actually explore. We don't really know yet. Maybe it's some underwater cave adventure, who knows, but that's definitely something we're gonna have to pay attention to, especially if we get new footage from the game. Moving right along, let's go ahead and talk about all of the confirmed professors that are going to be in this game. First off, we've got Abraham Ronan, who is the charms professor, and then we have Professor Fig, that we actually don't know what they do, possibly transfiguration according to Reddit, or study of ancient ruins. And then we've got Professor Binns for history of magic. Moving on, we have Phineas Nigellus Black, that is unknown at this current time. He will probably end up being the headmaster of Hogwarts at the time. And then we've got Professor Hecate or Hecat, I'm not really sure the pronunciation, like I said. They will likely be the defense against the dark arts teacher. And then Professor Sharp, that is going to be the potions teacher. We also have it confirmed that there will be a new professor called Professor Weasley. There's Professor Ernesto Jag, that is care of magical creatures. We've already seen the professor for herbology, and then we've got the flying instructor. And last but not least, we have what they look like, but we don't really know exactly what professor they're going to be or what class they're going to teach. But we have either the divination or astronomy professor, and that's about it as we know right now. We do know that there is going to be a ton of main characters in this game, so I'm definitely excited to see what other characters there's going to be in this game. Maybe the Minister for Magic, some ghosts that we've seen featured from previous games. Maybe Peeves is going to show up, who knows. We will just have to wait and see. Now I want to talk about a tweet that was actually tagged to Hogwarts Legacy News. This user on Twitter actually tweeted at Hogwarts Legacy News stating, did anyone else notice these golden globes with Fire Emblem logo on them? The game's logo in the cave scene at 437 of the State of Play video. I wonder what they will mean. Maybe a dungeon is nearby with an ancient magic hidden inside. I'm imagining these things are kind of like shrines from The Legend of Zelda, and those are how we enter the different dungeons of this game. Another aspect of the Autodesk video that I would like to talk about, and that is the entrance to the Hufflepuff common room. And luckily they indeed did stick with the lore with the knocks, which is actually insane. One user said, the details, dude, the fact that they actually knocked to the beat of Helga Hufflepuff, I'm so beyond happy that they're getting these tiny details right. Now for this next section, I want to talk about some things that we still want to know about Hogwarts Legacy. Now with every game, especially with the hype that this game has, the expectations can easily become unrealistic, and with that, many players are going into Hogwarts Legacy thinking it's going to be a fully fledged RPG. One Reddit user by the name of Aragorn Elisar stated, I just want to know how deep the RPG-ness of this game will be. Is it a linear game with side quests, or is it like BioWare / Witcher 3 type games where you can make different choices that lead to different endings and outcomes in each playthrough? Now I'll say this right now, I don't think that Hogwarts Legacy is going to be the type of game that has that type of replay factor, especially not in the scale of a game like Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. We have seen from the last showcase that player choice will be taken into account in the form of good and evil, but it's really hard saying how much that will actually affect the story and things you can do. Like, I don't think the decisions that we make early on in the game are really going to affect the final result of the ending. I think the ending is likely going to be pretty similar for each playthrough, but who knows, maybe there's going to be an ending for each house you choose, and then from that house, whether or not you're going to end up good or evil, that would be absolutely insane. I don't think it's going to be on that scale, but the possibilities are kind of endless. The next question that we really need answered is, how big is the open world going to be? One of the biggest questions outside of when the game is going to be released is how big that open world will be. For a game to warrant having a mount that can fly like a hippogriff or a broomstick or a thestral, the map size would definitely have to warrant that. One user on Reddit named AMK stated that there are many things that need to be answered, or maybe leave it a mystery and then let us discover it. I guess, which would be cool in a way, like old times. But they said, is Quidditch going to be included or not? How do these spells work, especially the unforgivable curses? Can we use spells anywhere, anytime, or are the spells usable according to the situation? They said, I think this is one of the underrated questions. How exactly do the controls work, and how does spell progression work? So I think that there's going to be a progression system with the spells. We've seen it in the skill trees. There's not a bunch of talents, but there is some. For the unforgivable curses, I've got a feeling it's going to be similar to like Witcher, where you're not really allowed to like kill certain people. Like, you can't just run up to some students and just hit them with the Imperious Curse or Avada Kedavra and just be like, hey, you're dead now. I don't think that's going to be possible. It would be absolutely wild if they did it, but I don't think that's going to work like that. I think that there are certain situations where you are able to use unforgivable curses, but I've got a feeling that they're not going to be done on the school grounds. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a dark wizard, then you kind of should be able to use any unforgivable curse like whenever you want. All right, now let's talk about when when we're going to get the release date revealed. We have some rumors of a potential release date of early December, but that is just about it. So needless to say, the concerns of this game being delayed are ramping up every day that passes. I think our best guess of when this release date is going to be revealed would be at the next Sony State of Play or the next PlayStation Showcase. We typically get a big State of Play or PlayStation Showcase in September or August. Since it's already August, I think our best bet would be sometime this month. And according to industry insider Special Nick, Sony could be planning a new State of Play for August or sometime in September, he stated, and I quote, "So because I've been getting asked, I asked if Sony had a show planned for September and got told that at the moment the plan is for a show in August, but just to make sure, those that want to get mad at me, not sure if it will be moved," was also a part of the reply. This right here is our best bet for the release date reveal of the game, especially if the game is still coming out this year. They've got to show the game off very soon or it'll just not really make sense. Honestly, if it doesn't get revealed within the next month or so, I think it's safe to say that a delay is pretty much a given at that point, and if that happens, then Q1 of 2023 will be our best bet. My fingers are crossed that a delay doesn't happen and early December is the date, but we will just have to wait and see. Well guys, that is going to wrap it up with this video. If you guys want to stay up to date with all things Hogwarts Legacy, do me a favor, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on. The road to 60k is here. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.